Welcome to Camp.Grill.Eat. I'm Angie, and today we're making Guinness cheese dip. This is a great recipe for St. Patrick's Day, or if you're camping, if you really like Guinness. It actually only uses a little bit of your can, so you have plenty to enjoy. And just a fun dip to put together, great for dipping and dunking your favorite snacks. We're going to be using our small, trusty little 6-inch cast iron skillet to make a single recipe, which will serve about 4 to 6 people. So if you want to double it, you could make it in a bigger, like 10-inch skillet. But for the single recipe, just your little skillet works perfectly, and it's perfect then for serving directly from the skillet. You can take it straight from your stovetop and serve it. So let's put it together. To make Guinness cheese dip, you're going to need 1/3 cup of Guinness or another type of stout beer. You can add that to the skillet. So feel free to enjoy what's left in the can. And then you need 4 ounces of cream cheese, which is half of one of those blocks. You'll find it easier to melt if you cut the cheese into cubes instead of just adding it as one whole block. And I do recommend that you use the block style instead of the spreadable stuff because it melts better. And then you're going to use a teaspoon of Dijon mustard to add a little bit of flavor, so that just goes in there. And 2 cups, about 7 ounces of grated Irish cheddar cheese. So there's usually a few varieties at the store in your sort of specialty cheese section. This is a Kerrygold Irish cheddar, but you can use whatever looks good, whatever you want to try. And we'll just start with part of it, and then we'll add it as it starts to melt down. So you just combine everything in the skillet, and then you turn it on medium-low heat, and just give it a stir occasionally, and just let everything melt and come together. Don't try to rush it along by turning up the heat. Cheese does not enjoy being heated quickly or boiled, and you can run the risk of separating your sauce or your dip, as it were. So just let it go medium-low to low heat, depending on your burner, just so that everything is gently melting together. And as it starts to melt and reduce in volume, then you can add in the rest of your grated cheddar. And this usually takes about 10 minutes or so to fully melt. Once it's melted, you're ready to serve, and then you can just take it directly, the skillet directly from your stovetop or your camp stove if you're camping, and serve it up. So while this is melting, let's talk about dippers. This makes a reasonably thick dip, and it's warm. So it's not something that I would recommend serving with vegetables, but it's great for crackers. I love these pretzel chips. It's kind of my dipper of choice for this one. They're kind of a flat pretzel. You could use regular pretzels, but these are a lot better for scooping. And I think most grocery stores carry them, or even your local Costco, you could get a giant bag. And your other option would be cubes of bread. Camp.Grill.Eat.com has a recipe for a Dutch oven Irish soda bread. You cook up a loaf of that and cut it into cubes is a great one for dipping. Then you've got almost like a cheese fondue situation going on. Or just your favorite crackers. Anything kind of crisp and crunchy that's good for scooping would be a great choice. So it took about 10 minutes of over low heat of just melting everything together, stirring it occasionally. When the dip is first melted, it will be quite runny, but it does set up as it sits. So it's best to serve it probably about 5 minutes after you've finished kind of heating it and melting everything together. If it sets up, if it starts to set up too much, you can always pop it back over low heat and warm it, and it'll loosen right up again. And since it's in your cast iron skillet, it's just no problem to go back and forth between your table and your stove. Anyway, so this has been sitting for just a couple minutes, and you can see it's still a little bit loose, but it will set up as it sits. So yeah, give it 5 to 10 minutes. Now, The color of this is not really the most appealing. It can really only be described as beige. The dark color of the stout and the light color of the cheddar makes it kind of an unappetizing grayish brownish color. So you can dress it up a little bit if you want to make it look a little bit nicer. You can add a sprinkle of cayenne, which I am going to do because I like things with a little bit of heat to them. If you're not a huge fan of that, you could add some chopped scallions. You can do both. They both work really well with this dip, and we'll add a little pop of color to the dip. So you can really taste the stout in there, the creaminess of the cheddar, just really nicely balanced. That little pop of flavor from the Dijon. Great for St. Patrick's Day or for camping. Really like the flavor of Guinness. This is a perfect snack. As always, the link to the recipe is in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.